Hello and welcome to Forest Fan TV. It's the big one this weekend. Forest heading to Derby and the iPro Stadium for the second East Midlands derby of the season. I've got Rish from 1865 here with me. We're going to preview the game. So this is going to be a tough game for Forest, as we're all predicting Derby are a strong side. How do you think the game will go?
I think it's going to be absolutely horrible for a Forest fan. I think it'll be, hopefully, what I'm hoping is it'll be frustrating for a Derby fan. Beyond that, I'm not sure I'm prepared to commit.
Yeah, but these games, they tend to be tense and scrappy affairs in. They're not ones for the footballing purists. And like you say, I don't particularly enjoy them from a Forest perspective, even though you would hope to do so, being rivals and everything. Are we expecting a scrappy, bitty game again?
You know what, in this case I'm actually hoping for a scrappy, bitty game because that means that we'll have stopped Derby playing, and therefore it means that we'll have a good chance of getting a result.
Yeah, and that's important for us given the fact we've only won 2 out of our last 20 in all competitions. We lost 2-0 at home to Sheffield Wednesday last weekend. I didn't think we were too bad in the first half there. I think we were signs of promise. It was just that goal seemed to...
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is that a lot of reports said there was no positives to come out of it. That's not strictly true, actually. What was worrying is that it reminded me very much of watching the Brian Clough relegation team back in '93, in the sense that actually they were trying to do the right things, they were doing the right things, but they just weren't making an impression in doing those things. And then, of course, you get those little bits of luck that go against you, such as with the Wednesday goal. Yes, he was trying to score it, but it was just a fluke that Todd Kane kicked it into Kieran Lee's leg at the time that he had his leg outstretched. So that says a lot. But also, you make your own luck in football. I'm still a firm believer in that. And the reason that went against us is because we're on a bad run and need to do more to help ourselves.
One thing that we're not doing is scoring the first goal. We tend to be playing okay, concede first, and then we go on and lose the game. I think if we do that again at Derby, we'll lose.
Yeah.
But I think if we score, we'll get something from the game.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. I think you can visibly see the players slump every time we concede a goal. And so if we concede the first goal, then we know that they're not going to have the gumption to turn it around. Even no matter how much they huff and puff and no matter how much Stewart kicks them up the backside, it's going to be difficult to do that. So I think it's really important, like you say, if we can get in front, whether that be through an own goal, the proverbial shot coming off someone's backside or whatever, really doesn't matter. Just a lucky goal, I think, could actually potentially turn Forest season around.
And Derby are a good footballing side under McLaren. They play some nice stuff at times. What can Forest do to cope with their threats, and what can they do to sort of stop them from playing and to try and get a result? Ultimately? I
think in coping with the threat, it's going to be really important that a lot of their strength. Chris Martin's grabbing the goals and he's grabbing the headlines. But when you've got one centre forward up against 2 centre halves, and we're hoping it'll be Hobbs and Lascelles again, because Lascelles looks like a completely different player when he's alongside Jack Hobbs.
Yeah.
And I would also say, though, the key is in midfield. And of course, midfield is where Forest has struggled. So if we've got, let's say, Benny Osborne sitting in that hole, he does such a good job there because he's a player who's always willing to receive and give the ball. And if that frustrates the Derby midfield, then that will work wonders for Forest.
The last time we played there, well, we don't really want to talk about it too much.
We've not played there for a few years.
Yeah, I've blanked it out of my memory. Last time we won there, that was January 2011, the Earnshaw goal, that 1-0 win. So I think we are due a win at the iPro.
We're just due a win against Derby. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, well, due a win in general. I think that's the best way of putting it. 2 in 20, of course, but. In terms of the team selection and what Pearce can do with the team, Lansbury is back from suspension now. We've served that 2-game ban. But do you think he'll come straight back into the team? There's also Gary Gardner to throw into the mix as well.
Lansbury, what do you do with a player like Henry Lansbury? I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the team, but I would not think he's worth it at the moment. Just partly because, it's that whole arm around the shoulder, kick up the backside dichotomy. I think, maybe he needs to kick up the backside of saying, even when you're available, you're not necessarily going to get selected. The other thing is just in terms of work rate and actual positive outcome, I've seen more from Osborne and Tesha this season than I have from Henry. Which is a shame, because Henry's such a great player and we know it, which makes it doubly frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, when he's on form, he'll walk into the team, he'll walk into most championship teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fair to say.
Absolutely.
We've picked our starting 11 for this game, so go and check that out on the channel. Hopefully, Forest will get us a win.
Mm-hmm.
It's about time. Fingers crossed. We'll be watching Saturday lunchtime, hoping for the best. How sweet it would be to end that unbeaten run, or the winless run rather, against Derby. If you want to get in touch with us on Twitter, let us know how you think we're going to get on. At ForestFanTV is where we are. Visit our Facebook page, that's Nottingham Forest TV. And as ever, leave your comments in the section below. Until next time, from Rish and myself, goodbye.